Welcome back to JJ Detailing. So a really special car we've got in this weekend, only 2 days I have on this car, is a E46 M3 full track spec. It's had roughly 30 plus grand's worth of track modifications done to it. It does visit tracks near enough every single month. It is a very, very heavy track orientated car, which means it's been used and abused, neglected. It is silver. You do get away with not showing the defects as much in silver, but the customer wants to add more gloss, he wants to add more clarity, make it look shinier, so when the photos are going around the tracks, it looks kind of the best it can for a track car. It looks a little bit dull, looks a bit like didn't really have any gloss or shine to it. So we're looking to basically try and correct as much as we can in a very short period of time. So very simply, cutting it back, quick refine, really quick kind of work, and then put some basic protection on there to give the customer a little bit ease in maintaining it in the future. But a quick look at the car. It is a early E46 M3, genuine CSL front bumper, super rare parts. As I said, it is silver, and seeing the defects is quite difficult. But I mean, if we look down, turn the exposure down, can't see a thing. It's got a constant field of haze. It's very hard to see in silver. I'll try and change the tone of the light, see if we can pick them up. It's almost impossible to see, but in person you can kind of see like a little bit of a haze. But these are actually quite deep marks throughout the whole paintwork, so it's throughout everything. It does also have carbon fiber wings, and you can see the weave if you look closely. You can see a little weave in the light. So it's a genuine carbon fiber wing. And it's got very little paint on it, so again, we're gonna have to be really careful with this. I'm basically gonna do a very light polish over this, just kind of add more gloss. Don't think I'm really gonna correct it, and we can actually see the amount of defects in there. It's very hazy, very swirly, and it's not really what we want. But again, we're working on a tight budget, tight deadline, get as much as we kind of can in that 2-day process. And go from there, really. So, pretty special car. And the final thing I'll show you, and if you know what this is, BTG 7 minutes 33 night 4. That is 7 minutes 33 around the Nürburgring. Now that is a pretty impressive time for a British car to go around a German Nürburgring track. 7 minutes 33 seconds. I think anything below 9 minutes is considered fast. Anything below 8 minutes, very fast. So, super epic car. He's a very close friend of mine, so I'm happy to work on it. Just basically got to try and do as much as we can in 2 days, really. Let's crack on. Update on this BMW. This is a track car. It has been abused throughout the years. It's basically made to go around a track as fast as possible. So the customers previous to my current customer haven't really looked after it. They've done simple washes, probably local hand washes for years and years and years. I think it has had additional paint, like on the rear arches. I think it has been pulled out slightly. And even like areas which I've not done yet, I feel like these marks, like this, they are swirls, but there's like sanding in the paint. So I believe that a lot of this actually has been sanded and not filled or not smoothened off correctly before they've then primed it and painted it. So a lot of this I can't actually rectify. It's also rock hard paint. Rock hard paint basically means you're using a really aggressive combination to try and level it out, remove the marks. And the difference we've done on this door is this was 1 to 2 passes, and it is massively improved. It is silver. You are going to get away with not showing as much, but you can still see the amount of defects in this paint is quite surprising. But if you go down below, we've not touched this panel yet, so you can see it's very hazy, very swirled, and then this is a lot clearer, but it's still got the deeper marks in there. But this is essentially do what you can in like 2 days. So we're just trying to make it a lot glossier, remove some of the deeper defects, add a lot more gloss, a lot more clarity to it, make it a lot more shinier, because that's basically what the customer is looking for. So that's what we're cracking on with. Well, update on the M3. It's been an incredibly hard job. It was a 2-day do what you can kind of detail. It's a friend's car, it's a track car. It's been abused all of its life. He wanted it to just look glossier and a bit of protection. So we've actually done a cutting stage because it was so bad, followed by a really quick refining stage. But the cutting stage was essentially just to knock out the heavy stuff. It wasn't designed to really correct the paint properly and really remove every single defect. It's got a lot of prep marks in the paint, a lot of sanding marks from in the actual primer and paint itself, not in the lacquer. So it's a very tricky one to actually correct and get where we want it to be. Luckily, being silver, it does hide a lot. It does have a nice sheen of gloss now, and as you can see in the background, it's got the coating baking onto the paint. So it's looking good. I didn't get too much footage of this one just because of the time frame and how much had to be done. Essentially, it's a deep clean and a nice layer protection with a little bit of polishing in between. He is going to Nürburgring in April, so it is going to get abused, it is going to get driven, but now it's a little bit easier to clean for him with the protection in place. It's going to look glossier out in the daylight, it's going to be nice for photos and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a different one than your normal car at JJ Detailing, but definitely one to remember. I will be seeing it in the future as he is a friend, so it's nice to see the car in and out. The wheels are coming off shortly because it's getting new tyres, so as you saw, they are full of tar, full of load of contamination in the inside barrel. This car rarely gets cleaned, so when it does get cleaned, it doesn't get the full treatment. So those wheels will be getting a deep clean when the tyres go on in the future. So we're not too worried about that now. Essentially, it was just going to get the paint polished up to a certain standard, get it protected, get it looking glossy, and refine it out a little bit, make it look a bit more presentable for a track car. But I think it's safe to say we've done a good job. And I will try and get some after footage. There's still a few little niggly bits to do, so try and pick up the camera, and I'll get those as well. But it's going to be a cool one. But thanks a lot. See you in a bit.